Learning outcomes. After watching this video, you will be able to relate risk aversion to the market risk premium, discuss how risk aversion affects the expected returns of all risky assets, summarize the asset allocation decision. Determinants of the market risk premium. Let's go back to calculating the optimal weight in a risky asset when there is only one risky asset and a risk-free asset. Specifically, let this single risky asset be the market portfolio. The optimal weight in the market portfolio W star is the market risk premium divided by the coefficient of risk aversion times the variance of market returns. Across the entire economy, risk-free borrowing and lending offset each other, and so the weight in the risk-free asset is 0. The risk-free asset is said to be in net zero supply. This means that the average investor in the economy will have her entire wealth in the market portfolio. That is, the weight in the market portfolio is 1. Setting W star to 1, we now have the market risk premium, which is the difference between the expected market return and risk-free rate, equal to the average risk aversion coefficient of investors times the variance of the market portfolio's returns. This tells us that the market risk premium depends on two things: the average risk aversion in the economy and the variance of market portfolio. If investors are highly risk averse, that is, have high risk aversion coefficients, then they will demand a higher compensation in the form of a higher market risk premium. Consequently, all risky assets will have higher expected returns. Similarly, if we expect market portfolio's returns to be very volatile, then the market risk premium will be higher. This means that the expected returns of all assets will be higher. To achieve this higher expected return, the current prices of all risky assets will drop. Do you remember what it means for investors to be risk neutral? It means that investors do not want to be compensated for holding risk. If we assume that all investors are risk neutral, then the average risk aversion coefficient will be 0. In such a case, the market risk premium will be 0 and all risky assets' returns will be equal to the risk-free rate. In the real world, most investors are risk averse, and so the market risk premium will not be 0. Finally, let's summarize the two-step asset allocation decision. All investors arrive at the same efficient frontier using all risky assets in the economy. Using a risk-free asset to maximize the Sharpe ratio identifies the market portfolio, which is the same for all investors. This is the investing decision. Each investor then identifies that combination of the risk-free asset and market portfolio that maximizes her utility, which is driven by her aversion to risk. This is the financing decision. The key distinction between the two steps is that all investors identify the same market portfolio, but each investor's decision to split her wealth between the market portfolio and the risk-free asset is driven by her personal risk preference. So far, we have assumed that only one variable or factor, namely the market portfolio, affects expected returns. This may not be a realistic assumption. Next time, we'll start looking at multi-factor models in which more than one factor determines expected returns.